you've hit the nail on the head when you're talking about the mapping process of the buyer cycle. But actually, the last 3 chapters, which are about mapping, enabling, automation, integration of the process, you're talking there also about the value add services and the culture and that whole mindset. Back to the unfreeze, the whole mindset around growth comes back to all of these tiny little processes, which together build something quite substantial. I like the way you've set out the mapping chapter, which is talking about a cohesive approach to sales, marketing, and business objectives. And you've laid it out in 5 stages, which are the leading, evaluation, the close, management, and renew. And what I think you've done really well in the book, and anybody listening, I would totally encourage you to read it, is you've given the types of content suggestions that would be of value when you're developing your sales plays, which comes into one of the later chapters. And it's a type of content. So at this point, you might be doing your proposals. So you look at presentations or webinars, and as a structure for how you develop your content in your sales, marketing and sales plays, I think it's really, really useful. Have you got anything you'd like to add on the mapping stages processes?
Yeah, you know, in many ways, it seems commonsensical, but it's very few, agencies that we work with actually take the time to do that, which is really think about it from your customer point of view, you know, your employer point of view, and what is their journey? You know, when they first interact with you, what is that like? All the way through, they get a quote to a close, and then they renew business. And that's what people call is the buyer's journey. And that's ultimately what I mapped out in the book is there are 5 stages in a buyer's journey that typically happen. And really the idea is be very thoughtful on what happens in each stage. Don't just, let it happen. Be thoughtful of what does that experience look like. So when your customer first engages with you, it probably is going to be some type of digital way. Well, what's the best way to do that? Well, a cold call from, an inside salesperson really in this day and age is increasingly being viewed as annoying or just not being value add, and rarely really works. What really works is a warm introduction. Is when that first conversation happens, the customer already knows about you, the prospect already knows about you, and already has a warm feeling that you can be someone that they want to listen to, right? And the way you do that is through content, as we described, Sarah, is that in the first step, which is the lead stage, instead of just calling them and hammering them with the phone, why not send them very thoughtful pieces around the industry and the marketplace, around pandemic safety, around if they're in the construction industry, around construction safety, or latest changes in regulatory or latest changes from a market standpoint. And when they get this value-added content, they already have a warm sense about you. And then when that first contact happens, it's a very warm conversation, and a lot of the selling process is already, the tone has been set right from the very beginning. And so the book, as we talk about, kind of talks about each of the stages and gets everyone thinking, an agency thinking about each of the stages and how can you create a better experience at each one to increase the odds that prospect will move through the stages, eventually close, become your customer, and then keep renewing with you.